What night was Baba Booey on the Jimmy Kimmel show?
Thursday night.
Thursday night, I fell asleep. I woke up Friday morning. Beth was staring at me in bed and just said, "I've been waiting all night for you to wake up." She got woke.
She wanted to watch Gary?
Well, no, the dog woke her up or something, or the cat, one of the cats, and she got up and she leaves the TV on in the room for the cat because the cat likes it. Don't ask. So she walks by, and I guess the TiVo was taping Gary on Kimmel, so she ended up watching it live.
Oh,
and she was
okay.
just beside herself. She said, "You're not going to believe what happened on Jimmy. Did you see it?"
Yes, I did.
She goes, "You're just not going to believe what happened. You have to watch it. You have to watch it." I said, "What happened?" She goes, "Oh, my God. It's the greatest thing ever." I said, "What could it be? What
did Gary do?
Well, for those of you who didn't see it, Gary went out on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy did an interview with him. And then he said to Gary, he played the tape of Gary throwing this pitch at Citi Field when Gary threw the ball at the Mets game, at the opening of the Mets game. And, that's like Gary's nightmare because he threw a horrible pitch. The most, let's say,
it was awful.
The most feminine pitch ever.
Yeah, it was awful.
And so Jimmy throws him a baseball glove and goes, "We measured and taped it out, and you, come on, I believe in redemption. Redeem yourself." So Gary goes, "Oh, I don't want to throw that, Jimmy." And
it didn't look set up at all because Gary stayed in the chair a long time. He really didn't want to do it.
Gary thought about it, and I guess, he had to think about it like for a few seconds. He looked dumbfounded, and then he went over, and he pitched so bad.
It was the same pitch.
I mean,
it's how Gary throws.
On the third pitch, he tried, he threw horribly. Jimmy said, "Try again." It was like toward the end of the show. "Try again." Gary throws again. A little less worse than the first time, but pretty bad. He says, "Try again." The third time, he hits a woman square in the head with the ball.
Yeah, but the ball always has that it like goes off. And it's just the way he throws.
Now, I got to tell you, like a million thoughts went through my head. I mean, Beth and I have been discussing it all weekend. First of all, if Jimmy had asked Gary to hit an audience member in the head,
he couldn't do it.
It was so unbelievably
perfect. And did you think, Jimmy's standing out there in the audience, so he certainly doesn't think Gary's going to hit the audience.
I don't know what he was thinking, but I got to tell you something. First of all, why they're throwing a ball into the audience when Gary can't pitch? I think
Gary is a wild thrower.
The funny thing is, Jimmy can throw. In fact,
he hit him every time.
My brother-in-law sent an email saying maybe Gary throws like a girl, but he goes, Gary doesn't know how to throw. He said, but Jimmy's got an awfully good throw.
Jimmy looked like a guy who had thrown a ball.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, of course, is an athlete and, was a football player at Penn State and all this other stuff. So.
But you wouldn't even have to be that. Just the ease and the naturalness. There was nothing. Jimmy just threw the ball.
Yeah.
And it went right to Gary.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there watching it, and I said, why? Gary knows, he can't throw. First of all, it's a lose-lose situation. You're sitting there on national television. You're talking about your horrible pitch. And then Jimmy throws you a glove and says, "Let's pitch." Now, Gary could have done 20 different things. He could have gotten up and said, "Jimmy, I'm not humiliating myself again," and thrown the mitt, or said, "Thanks for the mitt," and left. I've retired.
Whatever.
Could have said, "Jimmy, I am not doing this at all. Jimmy,
I'm not prepared.
If I throw this ball badly, I'll be the brunt of a joke the rest of my life." What?
And Jimmy throwing the ball back so perfectly shows there's nothing on the ball. They weren't goofing on Gary in any way.
I would have taken a lighter and lit the ball on fire.
I would have lit myself on fire before throwing.
Or even throw it underhand if you're so inclined, and just say, bowl it and say, "Jimmy, I'm not going there." What was going through your mind, brother? I mean, what the hell? I mean,
I didn't. Okay.
You hit a woman in the head.
All right. We've now established that I can't pitch in front of people, and that I might not even be able
I don't think you can throw a ball.
I can throw a ball. And
I'm pretty sure I'm better than you. I got to try it.
I readily accept that.
Okay.
I felt that I felt that I had no choice. I felt that if I would have gotten up and said, "I'm not doing this," that it would have been just as bad, that everybody would have goofed on me.
Well, you do it in a funny way.
And then I also felt like the audience was like they're screaming and yelling, and Jimmy's like, "Come on!" You could see me going, "No."
You say, Jimmy, I'd rather. But Gary, you're like the woman who like.
I felt put in a bad position.
You're like
It was
a woman.
date rape.
You're like a woman who was raped, but spread her legs and said, "I'll do it."
Howard, I had 5 seconds to react. You're right. I
But
played
Gary, why would you throw a ball and
I didn't
humiliate
want to.
yourself?
I
So
didn't-
why did you do it if you don't want to?
because I felt put in a weird position. I felt like if I didn't do it, it was
But let
going to
me
be
ask
just
you
as
something.
bad.
If he told you to whip your cock out and piss
It's not
on
the same
stage,
thing. It's not the same thing.
that's a no, right? I mean, whip your cock out and piss. So what? Say no.
You know what it is, though? Gary persists
And Gary
in
was-
thinking he can
That's not the case.
throw.
I got to tell you, that wasn't the case at all. I didn't get up there and think that I was. I
He made
got
a
up there.
fool out of you.
I know, and I'm really upset about it.
Why?
I felt like.
But you could say no.
But I couldn't. You couldn't say no. I can't explain it. But he put me on the spot. The audience is yelling. I felt like if I said no,
You know what you
I was
remind
going to
me of?
come. Hold on, let me finish. I felt like if I said no, I was going to come across like an asshole.
No, you wouldn't. How would you come across it? You say, Jimmy, I can't pitch. I'm crack under pressure.
And then
I'll have nightmares the rest of my life. I'd rather put a dress on. You say something funny and
It's
leave.
funny that you said that because I sent a note to Jason and I said I felt like it was reliving a rape.
Yeah.
And I almost felt horrible I almost felt horrible using that example because you can't compare throwing a ball to a rape.
Well, when the first ball went off like that, what did you think?
I thought, oh my God. I don't know, man.
The first ball was awful. The second one was a little bit better, but awful.
Almost,
And I
yeah.
should
And the
have stopped
third one,
there.
when you bean the woman in the head, by the way, is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine.
How do you know?
Because they told me.
Oh.
They asked me to sign a book for her.
Was it a hard ball?
Yeah, it's a hard ball. It's a regular hard ball. I have it with me if you want to see it.
Wow, she got beamed right in the head. Doesn't that hurt?
I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about that. I'm sorry to whoever the woman is.
Well, hopefully, he, as bad as he is, he's not a hard pitcher.
No, he's not Nolan Ryan.
Jimmy told me he was laughing about it all fucking week.
Oh,
Good for
yeah, he
Jimmy.
loves
Yeah.
that.
He loved it.
I thought it was, I got to tell you, for me, I thought it was sort of a dick move to put me in that spot.
No,
It's
it
just me
isn't.
it is.
Gary, we ask people, you're in this business.
It's different. There's not
we
an,
do that all the
I know,
time.
but there's not an audience in here.
So what? We say to people all the time, we have TV cameras on. We go to people, take your shirt off. It's like my sister. I said to my sister, why don't you come on the air? This was 100 years ago. She goes, I'm not taking my top off. I go, wait a second. This is like Gary. Somebody tells you to do something, you just
Doesn't
don't
mean you have
do
to
it.
do it.
That's like,
But I felt for Gary because Jimmy took out the gloves and walked around the desk and walked to that position almost.
Right, I didn't even-
like, it's going to happen.
Right.
And here's
Foregone
the thing.
conclusion.
I know Gary gets really upset by this because he wants, he's a baseball coach for the
But see,
kids.
I
And a
didn't- but
fan.
hold on.
And he's a
Huge
fan, and he's always talking about he was even on his interview talking about he's an athlete and he came from football practice. And, he's always telling Jason he throws like a girl and this one. Dude, you cannot throw a fucking ball to
Yeah.
save your life.
We've established that.
What happened?
I don't know what happened.
Were
I mean,
you ever able to
yes,
throw a ball?
Yes, I was. There was a time
You know
when I
about
could.
following through, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm not an athlete, but I know that when I throw, because like my brother-in-laws come over and I got to throw a football, I got to this. I just follow through. Your
No,
hand guides the ball.
Howard, I got it. And if you look in the book, it says like I can't even wrap my head around it anymore.
What made you think you could throw the ball that you would do? Like, let me ask
This
you
time,
something.
this was
If
not
Jimmy
my idea.
Kimmel said to me, Howard, I want you to do a jackass type stunt. I want you to, right now, light yourself on fire and flip over. I would say, Jimmy, you do it. I can't do it.
It's not the same. I know. I can't
All
explain
right.
it.
If Jimmy said to me, Howard, I want you to do 5 minutes of stand-up comedy, I'd say, Jimmy, I can't do it. I don't do that thing. I don't do stand-up. I admire anyone who does it. It's not my thing.
But Gary sits there and establishes that he does throw with his boys and he can do this. And so Jimmy says, I believe in redemption. Let's go out here and show people
listen,
that you can do it.
I think
And then
that
you
what
say
happened.
no.
Oh, hold on. I think that what happened was Jimmy's greatest hope. I don't think
Yes.
Jimmy. I don't think
You
Jimmy
came
said,
through for Jimmy.
I don't think Jimmy said, "Let's do this," and Gary will redeem himself. I think he said, "I hope that exactly what happened happened."
It was unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it. I thought, this isn't possible.
Didn't
Although
sleep. Didn't sleep the whole night.
Oh,
Wow, were you pissed?
I was too humiliated to be pissed. I got more pissed the next day.
Did you say something to Jimmy?
Well, after
What happens after the appearance?
Well, here's what happens. We're standing on stage. Everybody's clapping. He's got his arm around me. And I said,
Does
Jimmy.
he say anything?
I said to Jimmy, I go, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. I probably said that on the wrap-up
so
show.
don't do it.
And so, but I didn't want to be put in that position. You know, I didn't even want to be put in that.
Gary,
Hold on, let me.
You're a witty guy. You're a bright guy. You got an IQ of 121. You turn to a guy, a million what? You take the ball in the glove and you run out off the stage and say, "No way, goodbye."
So,
I mean, it's funny.
So he said to me, "What are you doing there?" He said something. He goes, "I just sold 1 million books for you." And I'm like, which I'm not even sure Jimmy's got 1 million viewers. But I mean, and then he said, "Hey, what are you doing after this?" And I said, "Well, I'm with my news guy and one of my producers, and we already planned to have dinner." He's like, and I said, "What are you doing tomorrow night?" And he said, "I'm going to St. Louis." And then that was that.
Right.
Then afterwards, we go back and. The segment producer walks in and immediately starts apologizing, shuts the door. It's me and my agent. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I knew we were doing this, but I couldn't tell you, and I could see how upset you are." I mean, I wasn't like throwing things. You could just see that I was defeated. Then the co-executive producer comes in, and they're like, listen,
You always get yourself into trouble.
I'm sitting there in this surreal situation, being told by an executive producer the bullshit that I've told people to make them feel better.
Right.
And I'm sitting there and I'm going, bullshit, 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 more bullshit, bullshit, because I've been there. And I know the lies you have to tell to make somebody feel better.
Boy, I sat there all weekend dumbfounded that you took part in that. Like, I said, boy, Gary got just bamboozled and just, dude, don't do anything you don't want to do. It's the same thing as like a girl taking her top off and then says, "I don't want to do it."
But here's a difference too. It was like, I bet you if it were anyone else but Jimmy, I wouldn't have done it. But it was like Jimmy. It was like our friend. It's like our guy.
Our friend.
He's our friend.
Okay, well, it's like so if a friend asks you to do something you don't want to do, I think on some level, Robin's right. You wanted to do it. You wanted to prove you think you could throw it.
I didn't, and I walked out there thinking I can say no to this right now. But it just he's sitting down, and the audience is cheering, and I felt like
and you made a fool out of yourself.
Yeah,
it was a lose-lose situation. First of all,
well, it could have been a win situation.
No, it couldn't. Let's say you threw the ball. Then everyone would have said, "Oh, come on! It was much easier. You weren't at Citi Field. It probably didn't measure."
You're not on the same under the same kind of pressure.
Right.
Yeah. Listen,
and it's a lose situation. If you fuck it up, you look like a fucking bullshit artist. That you're a coach. You coach the baseball.
So here I am now, Monday morning.
Now, what about your boys?
Pitching?
Did your boys see it?
Lucas saw it, and he said he thought that he without prompting or anything, he said, "I think that was mean of Jimmy to do to you."
Oh, you're
and no, but that's how he feels. And Jackson,
Beth, by the end of the weekend, started to feel bad for you. But I mean, I'm telling you,
I do feel bad for him.
Why did he do it?
Here's how I feel, Howard.
Why?
Hold on. Here's how I feel.
I can't believe why he did it. I looked at it and I went, Mary must be filing papers right now. I'm sitting and going, why would he partake in that? If I'm on Letterman, if I'm on Leno, if I'm this, and they tell me to do something, fuck you.
Well, you're stronger than me.
You're very strong. You've got a great job. You're in the industry. You got your own book out.
It ruined, for me, it just ruined the whole weekend.
Cue up those pictures I got. Do you have it on Howard TV? Oh, here we go. Here's Gary.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. Oh, yeah, I got it. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
One more time. Barry, one more time.
Oh.
And you notice how natural Jimmy is?
Yeah.
And then how awkward
They should have stopped there.
One more. Come on, Gary.
Should have stopped already. And say, I give up.
Oh!
See?
The third one's the best. He wiped
throws
out
the glove at Jimmy.
He wiped out the whole audience.
Then he's able to hit Jimmy.
Yeah, that you were able to do. You asked to pitch the third one.
I didn't. He did. He threw it back.
No,
I didn't.
You go, let me do it one more time.
I did not. I did. You're hearing things.
I don't know. How
Trust
he
me when I
got
tell you I didn't say that.
pitches out of you.
And I'll tell you something. Here's what I kept thinking about all weekend.
They call you Baba Booey. Holy smokies.
Oh, this is so sad.
Never. I mean, listen, it's like I've already been raped. I know what it feels like. You know what I mean?
Jimmy took away your whole. He came out there so cocky. He was a New York Times best-selling author. He was feeling so good about himself.
Was
too.
I cocky? Look, let me ask you a question. What's wrong? What's?
You were confident. You were feeling good.
I thought I was great on the couch. I thought I was doing really well.
You did a great job.
And I'll tell you something else too. Like I was. Can I just get one thought out,
Yes,
please?
yes.
So I was thinking about like, okay, after I did Letterman, right? I come in the next morning. Can I just get a fucking thought out?
I'm
Give me my
sorry.
fucking 30 seconds.
You're the
Can't
best.
stop
You're the best.
sighing. Oh my
I
God!
love you. You're the best. I don't know what the fuck. And he flew all the way to Los Angeles
for that.
for that drubbing. Ay, 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 ay.
This pitch.
With this pitching, it's becoming your whole thing.
I don't want it to be.
Where are you going to go next and pitch?
Nowhere. Yeah, I told you. It's over. I'm not pitching for you. I'm not pitching for
I never
Sal.
asked you to pitch.
I'm not pitching for Jason. You can all go fuck yourselves. All of you. Not you. Well, yeah, you. Anybody who asks
Me?
go fuck themselves.
What did I do? What did I do? I
Nothing.
never.
You
I
didn't do
told.
anything.
What did I tell you when you went to City Field to pitch? I go, Gary, why would you do it?
I got it. I got
Let
it.
your son go do it. It's a lose-lose. And just because Jimmy, it's like it was like a Klan rally, and you didn't want to lynch a black man, but you were like, well, everyone's lynching the black guy. I'll go for it. I mean, don't go along with everything everyone tells you to do. You gotta stick up for yourself.
I didn't. I didn't stick up for myself. I just didn't.
You lost your mind. On some
And my
level, you
dignity.
thought you could do it.
I didn't.
No, you did.
I did.
You wouldn't have done it otherwise. If you look, I got a small dick. If Letterman tells me to whip my dick out, I don't do it. I don't want anyone to see it.
But that could be a
thought
that could be a
if
factor.
you
like-
know you can't do that pitch, you don't do it to humiliate yourself. You thought you could do it, and you can't. You took another shot at
I
it.
didn't, and I didn't want to.
You know, you're like the guy at the
I
carnival.
didn't want to.
You're like the guy at the carnival. He goes, sir, buy for another $1, 3 more. You knock down the milk bottles, you get a stuffed animal. The guy's $5,000 in. He's still trying to get that stuffed animal. Give up on it. You can't throw.
Right. Can I just say something
There is no
and
way
leave?
to redeem that pitch.
Right. Can I just say something and then just leave?
Okay.
May
If
I?
you're right, I hear.
I guess
wait
I
a second.
can.
No, you can. You'll get to it.
You know what? I'm just leaving.
No.
I
Tell
don't
me.
wanna- I don't want to stay.
Look, you
What?
stayed for Jimmy. You pitched for
Right.
Jimmy.
Yeah, for Jimmy, you'll do anything. For me, you won't even talk. You're gonna go. You're on Jimmy Fallon, let's say. You're going on there.
Yeah.
What if Jimmy wants you to eat your own feces?
I'll do it.
You will.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Of course I won't do that.
All right.
That's
good.
funny, though.
All right. Now tell me what you were going to say.
You know, the thing that's so humiliating about all of this
Right.
is that, like, I did the Letterman show. When I came in the next morning, Robin said something that made me feel so good. She said, you know, she goes, I really looked at Gary a different way. I looked at him a different way. And then, so I did the Today Show, and all these things I felt like I was sort of elevating myself, and it just all's erased.
All erased.
Just all erased.
Absolutely.
Can I tell you something? I did 2 book signings this week. I signed 900 books, 500 books at Book Soup, 400 books in Torrance, and it's a non-factor. It's like it didn't happen.
And you were doing really well on the couch.
I know.
Yeah,
you
you did
looked
great.
comfortable. You
were great.
personable and funny.
That's what made it so good.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh man, Gary, and I'm watching this thing. Go, Gary, don't get up. Don't get up. Don't get up.
Don't move.
Really? I was like, no.
All right, now
The only thing everyone's going to remember from this book tour is the pitch.
Yeah, I'm aware of that now.
3 pitches. 3!
3 bad ones.
When you hit the woman, I think you wiped out 2 women in the audience, and then you took out a chair.
All right, I'm going to my office.
Why?
Because I got it.
Listen.
I got it.
No, you don't.
No, I'm not.
I'm
done.
afraid that you.
You
could-
do what you need to do. I'll be
Why are you
listening.
going?
No, I'll be listening.
I don't understand why you can't get him to do anything.
Yeah, but you notice in here he knows how to protect himself.
He can get out of this.
But for Jimmy, he's a bitch.
Gare.
Yes.
So, you know, obviously a lot was said about you feel sandbagged by Jimmy. You feel as though, you know, you weren't prepared for this. He hit you over the, you know, he blindsided you. Is your relationship with him done? I mean, at this point,
no, it's not done. I mean, listen, I like Jimmy, and I'm gonna deal with him on 100 levels in the future. So it's not done. I mean, I'm bummed out. Bummed is the word. I'm not angry. I'm not fuck Jimmy or anything like that. I just sort of feel like you know, like that whole rap I was doing, like, you know, people see the way Howard treat me, and everybody thinks that's the way. And I think Jimmy falls in that category. Like, oh, Gary's a goofball, so I'll just treat him like a goofball.
And a lot was made about the fact that, you know, in the past you've had to do this to some people. You've had to like feed information that sort of surprised people or put them on their.
I mean, I don't think it's the same. I think that the bigger comparison would be when if Howard wanted to do something, and I knew about it but couldn't tell the person.
Right.
And that's what I was dealing with his producer. When his producer apologized, like, we knew, but we couldn't say anything. And I'm like, well, I don't blame them. I've been in that position before. But at the end of the day, it's Howard. Howard's the responsible party. So I don't feel like I fall into that category as a producer. Howard's the one that makes a decision.
Well, and another aspect of this whole situation is that you've talked about how this has detracted you from your point, which is to portray your book and to talk about your life.
Sort of elevate my image a tiny bit because it's so low. So if it's here, I'm not allowed to bring it up to here. I guess I got too high, and the powers that be said it needed to be pulled down a notch.
Well, I was going to say, what can be done now to repair this, to sort of go on with your book tour? Because you have.
Well, I'm going to go on my book tour, and it's not like it's ruining the book tour. You know, people bring it up, and you know, like everything else, as time goes on, it'll come up a little bit less, and that'll be that. I mean, listen, I'm continuing with the tour. I'm halfway through it now.
And on the bright side, this is probably going to end up selling you a lot more books.
Well, we'll see.
All right, man. Thanks.
Where's Jimmy? He's got to call in. Where is he? Gary.
He's still laughing.
Go get me Jimmy Kimmel on the phone.
And Jimmy he's cruel. He will laugh at your misery.
It was crazy. I'm watching this
I
fucking
bet
thing.
you he couldn't get through dinner. He was laughing so hard.
I'm going, why did this guy? I mean, I will forever ask myself why he did this. I mean.
But to have the exact same thing happen, I didn't think he could do it 3 times.
Ryan, you're on the air in Baltimore.
Hey now, guys. Dude, I've been waiting since Thursday night to fucking call in and laugh about Babooey. So can you make sure he's listening right now so I can laugh at him right to his face?
I already did.
Okay. I'm going to laugh really, really hard right now. You ready about Babooey?
Oh.
Yes, Bobo.
Hey, how you doing there now? Hey, did they take that woman out on the stretcher or what?
Boy, you know,
Oh, my God.
You know, as a boy, I never got to play hardball. I never played once.
Right.
And I know I don't even know if I can throw a ball from the pitcher's mound. I don't know. I've never done it. I've never participated in a sport like that. But when I saw the woman I think 2 women got wiped out if you look at the third pitch.
Yeah.
But Howard, I just want to say how
I said that's a hard ball. I would be very scared to get hit in the head by a hard
And
ball.
I don't know, after seeing Gary's pitch, isn't it kind of reckless to stand in the audience?
Robin, you'd probably know more about pitching than I do. Where does he go wrong? In other words, he winds up, but I don't.
Well, it's exactly what you say. He
No
stops
follow-through.
the throw right at the top.
Let me see.
he missed the target 3 times.
Let me watch his wind up.
See,
Yeah.
at the top, he lets the ball go.
Oh, 2 women. See, you know what saved that woman? She had her hands over her. Oh, he got her on the back of the head.
Oh.
The hands didn't save her. Look, perfect.
And it comes right out of the top of his hand, off the fingertips.
Actually, it comes out of the side of his hand.
You think it's rolling off the side?
It was the same ball action than it was at Chase Stadium or Citi Field.
Robin, would you be willing to teach Gary to throw? I mean, seriously.
You're right, Fred. It's coming off the side.
For some reason, I remember that.
Why don't you, if you're a nice person,
I
take
can't
him
throw. He throws the way I do. I know I can't throw. Why doesn't he know he can't throw?
But you know how to throw.
But why doesn't he know he can't do it? I know I can't do it.
No mechanics. I love Gary. He's got no mechanics.
He's no mechanic.
No, seriously.
I'm no mechanic, both. I know he's upset with me for laughing. I saw he got upset, but
I feel bad for him, man.
it was a funny
I think he
bit.
threw him under the bus.
Well,
What do you think?
I
Come
think
on.
Gary threw himself under the bus. You can't be a part of anything unless you are a participant. In other words, all he had to do, I would have run out of there. I would have said, no way, and run off.
I can't do this
I think
again.
Gary thought he was going to hand him the glove. Like, oh, here's a glove, here's a token. You know.
He could have walked over, give Jimmy a kiss, and left.
You know, Bobo's right. I thought he was handing me a glove like it's some sort of. I thought it was some sort of weird token.
By the way, you could have even said, hey, thanks for the glove, and then left. I never got a gift before on a talk show. We should start giving away baseball gloves.
Well, you know what? You're absolutely right. He could have taken the glove and put it right down on the floor immediately. I don't handle those things anymore.
But you can't be, you see, Gary, you can't be mad at Jimmy. Jimmy didn't throw you under the bus. Jimmy gave you a bus, and you threw yourself under it.
Let's say it's a little bit of both. I mean, I could have said no, but I really, again, I had seconds to react, and I realized it's the wrong reaction, and you've done this a lot more than I have, and you're more skilled at it than I am.
No.
And I just
know when I can't do something.
It was a split-second decision, and I made the wrong decision. But I don't know why I had to be put in that position in the first place.
Because he knew it would be gold.
I'm actually surprised that Letterman didn't do that.
Yeah, he's kicking.
Letterman don't like getting out of that chair. Jimmy's a little younger. Hey, Gary, can you put a dildo in your ass on the show today?
Sure, get me 5.
Get him 5 before he has time to think about it. I realized the trick with Gary
He
is
only
that
has 5 seconds. He can't make the right decision.
I think you have to have a live audience to get Gary to do stuff.
All right, let's bring in a bunch of people and see what we can make him do.
So after the appearance, you didn't see Jimmy at all.
No, just the producers.
And then, how long did you stand around there all bummed out?
We left pretty quickly.
And Jimmy didn't call you over the weekend?
No, not a word.
Wow.
His other co-executive producer sent me a note Saturday night. I responded to it last night. She just sent me back a note today, which is more.
What was the note?
That she sent me or that I sent her?
That she sent you.
Yeah. What were the notes back and forth?
It was something to the effect of, I understand you're upset, that you left upset. We love you, and we really want the book to do well. We never meant you any harm. And the co-executive producer, by the way, Howard, is somebody that I really like. She was at your wedding.
Right. I know what you mean.
And so I sent the note back last night. I was like, listen, pretty much saying the things that you said. Like, I felt painted into a corner. I know I shouldn't have done it. I did all these other shows. Nobody sort of sprung that on me. That the only thing that will be remembered from this whole weekend and this whole book tour is this pitch, when I should be celebrating the fact that, I'm number 6 on the list and all that stuff. And I said, I just feel sort of blindsided. And she sent me back a note today saying, the pitch is on the back cover of your book, and we were never told not to discuss it. And my point is, I didn't say we couldn't discuss it. I just didn't think I was going to be asked to do it again. If anybody read the chapter, even you probably haven't read it. If anybody read the chapter, they would know that's the last thing I want to do.
Then don't do it.
But if you ask him, he'll do it.
No, if we ask him, he won't do it. Anyone else will do it for.
Hey, Howard, you can see how upset Gary was because he threw the glove at Jimmy. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, that.
Hey, Scott DePace, you have a little bit higher IQ than Gary. Would you? I mean, how do you explain
How would
this?
you handle it?
Howard, I'm staying out of this one.
Why?
But you have a similar IQ. I mean, you beat Gary by 1 point, and you have a high intelligence.
Why do you have to stay out of this?
Yeah, why do you have to stay out?
I've done enough to piss Gary off.
Well, did you see it live, or did you hear it?
I did. I was kind of drunk as well, so.
Oh, he must have had fun.
I laughed pretty hard.
Oh, man.
Did you stay up to watch it?
I was playing a video game, and then I turned the video game off, and suddenly it was on. It was like it happened by chance. It was
Right.
unbelievable.
It was on ABC.
Yeah. And then when he hit that woman in the head, oh my.
You think? Hey, Howard, you think Jimmy would have used like a sponge ball, knowing Gary can't throw that good?
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of reckless seeing Gary
he used
pitch.
a hard ball. Come on, Jimmy.
I think Jimmy thought he could do it. Why do you, Scott DePace? Why do you think Gary would do that though? Like, in other words,
Why he would pitch that bad, or why he?
why would he partake in it? Why would he participate?
I think he just thought that he would be able to do it well. So
That's what I
said,
think.
I'll prove him right and do it. But it's got to be hard to throw in a sport coat.
That's the problem.
Well, he could have taken on. I mean, he could have given it a real try. I don't know what happened there.
You're a pretty good athlete. You can throw a ball, right?
Oh my God, I could do that blindfolded.
Would you help Gary learn how to throw?
I would love to. Yeah.
Would you? Maybe that'd be a way you guys mend your relationship, where you take Gary out to a field like he's your son and teach him how to throw a ball.
I'm teaching my kids right now, so
Gary,
I can teach them.
Would you
Come
like to go
out
with
there
Scott
with
and the boys?
his kids.
I don't want to go out having nothing to do with Scott. I just don't want to be involved anymore.
But if he could teach you how to pitch, do you think it would be something worthwhile?
I don't even think I want to learn anymore. I just don't want to do it. I don't want any part of it.
It's simply his release point. He's releasing from the side instead of over the top.
Exactly.
Right,
And
the
that's where
follow
the issue
through.
is.
He has to. You have to. I think.
Well, he's releasing, as he said.
Yeah,
it's rolling
not even the
over
follow
to
through.
the side.
It's,
Yeah.
it's coming. It's spitting out of his hand on a right hand axis or something. It's like a world out of control.
How can you correct that, Scott?
it's just a little practice. I would change his arm slot to be over the top instead of 3/4, which that probably would affect his release.
How about his grip?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the grip too.
I'm just thinking if you could teach him, we could, you know, it would be beautiful. You guys would come together over that.
Gary, can you bring a ball in and show us your grip?
Can't I just use your neck?
Gary, that team that you coach, do they all throw like you? Have they all learned to throw from you?
Yeah.
Are there any balls in the park?
There must be a lot of walks.
He takes it so seriously, that throwing of the ball.
This is his bailiwick. This is crazy.
That's why it's so great. I mean, he so wants to be a great athlete.
Yeah.
And he kind of fancies himself one.
Oh, he's always told us he's an athlete.
Yeah. Jesus. Like, I guess I wouldn't even care because I know I can't fucking throw a ball.
But you'd never do it again after doing it so badly.
You think Jimmy would have stopped that after the first pitch, but he enjoyed it, I guess.
I really do think Jimmy was pulling for him, but after that first ball, he should have just bailed.
I think Jimmy thought he could do it. I think Jimmy said, "Oh, Gary knows what he's doing."
Yeah, but I think that Jimmy thought that if I couldn't, it'd be awesome too, and it was for him.
I wonder how like when I'd like to interview Jimmy. Like, when did they come up with that idea?
And by the way,
Like, did they almost not do it?
Where is he?
He's such a good friend that immediately posted on YouTube, given to TMZ.
Oh, he was very upset for you.
Well, does he post that on YouTube? I think people do.
No, he does. They do every night.
Well, it was also on the ABC website.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's probably going to be in cabs. You know how they have those little screens in cabs and
Hi,
Jimmy
this is
does?
Jimmy Kimmel.
So did that ruin your whole weekend in L.A.? Like, were you?
Oh my God, Howard. Yes. I mean, like I said, I barely slept that night. And then I got up the next day and I had a full day of interviews. I started interviews at 8 o'clock.
I liked the interview on Jillian Barbery's show. I thought that was good. I thought all three of them were good with you.
Yeah, they were really big fans and stuff. And then
they didn't talk over each other. It was really good.
And then I just went from to Jillian Barbery. I did one at Fox Sports. I did an hour with Adam Carolla, his podcast, which is great. He's got a great setup.
Did Carolla ask you about that?
Didn't even bring it up.
Wow.
I mean, we spoke for an hour, and I was waiting for it to come up. I was fully expected it to come up. We just went off into different areas. But Adam's got a great setup. He's got a garage with a studio in it, and that was great. I went to the.
It's at his house?
No, it's just it's like a warehouse. It's there's a studio in there, but then it's also like a garage, like where they fix up sports cars and stuff.
Huh.
It's like a man's playhouse.
Right.
And then I did more interviews. Then I went to Book Soup. There were like 500 people. The line was around the block. It was incredible.
Does everyone like kind of?
You bring that up again?
Yeah, like at the book signing.
Yeah, well, it's just like probably. Well, I'm not even gonna say, but yeah. I mean, it wasn't.
What aren't you gonna say?
It wasn't the focal point of everything, but yeah, it came up, and then a lot of people wanted me to sign baseballs.
Oh.
Which I'm actually not doing. Less about I don't care about signing a baseball, but the lines are so long, and signing a baseball takes so long that they're just like, we're just signing books because it was just too many people. But yeah, there were probably about a dozen people who had baseballs.
And Jillian was there hosting the event for you, right?
She did a great job, and Jeff Probst came out, Mark McGrath, Nancy Sinatra. It was like it was a lot of fun. It was
wow.
It was like had that not happened, I should be coming back and talking about everything but this.
It ruined everything.
It did. It ruined it. I don't know how it's. I mean, I can't deny it.
Wow. It was this triumphant weekend in L.A.
It's like the knockout punch came at the top of it.
Right.
Oh, we got to get Jimmy on the phone at some point.
We gotta talk to him. We gotta see what he was thinking and what happened when he saw what
You gotta say though, he was so relaxed prior to that, Howard.
Yeah, he was loose as a goose.
Yeah.
That meter was on zero. I didn't calculate it.
He didn't see this coming at all.
No.
Here's a note. Gary's first Twitter after the pitch. I guess I just can't throw in front of an audience. He's still in denial that he can't throw.
He can't throw.
Yeah, period.
I'm not in denial.
Yeah, you can't throw, dude. It has nothing to do with the audience.
I'm not
You're
in
not
denial.
Hey, Gary, I love you, man, but it's too late in life to learn now. You got to learn early.
No, he could learn. DePace could teach him.
It's hard.
All right, thank you, Bobo. Captain Jenks, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Howard. There's a big article in today's Philadelphia Daily News about Gary throwing the pitch on Jimmy Kimmel the other night.
No.
Yeah, and you know what? It even quotes Gary as saying that when asked, the reporter apparently asked him if he would ever throw a pitch again, and he said he would consider it under the right circumstances.
No. Gary. What circumstances would you throw another pitch?
The truth?
Yeah.
Some people had approached me about doing a reality show.
What?
Like doing like,
A reality show about throwing
About
a
you
pitch?
Yeah, are you like you know how what's his name? What's the basketball player?
Shaq.
No, Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley did a
Right, a challenge.
no, he did a thing where he has like the world's worst golf swing. And so for the golf challenge, they tried to fix it. So there was a talk about maybe doing a thing where, you know, a professional pitcher comes and works with me, and the end result is I go back to Citi Field, do it again. So like that was in.
So you're not that embarrassed.
Right.
if you
You're
would do it
willing to
again.
do that.
Well, if I felt I work with somebody and I felt confident enough to do it again, I would. But part of the
He
show
ain't
could
giving
be,
up, I told you.
No, part of the show could have been. Hold on, listen. Part of the show could have been that I didn't feel I could do it. That would have been it. I would have never gone and done it again.
He Baba Booeyed the whole situation.
I know.
And he's telling Jimmy, I'm not a Baba Booey, I'm the Baba Booey.
Right, because a Baba Booey is insulting.
Yeah. Did you see it, Fred? Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
What do you think of this?
Of the pitch?
Of everything.
Oh,
like, why did he
God.
do it?
I know. Like up until the pitch, Gary was doing terrifically.
Yeah, home run.
I mean, it's almost like, you know, this was the moment that he'd been grooming himself for years. He was articulate. He was funny. You know,
ain't that
he was
upset.
endearing.
He's
and
eating his
then
breakfast.
Hey,
came
you
the
didn't stop him
pitch.
from eating.
No. What's that you put on the eggs, Gary? The sauce of some kind.
A little bit of guacamole.
Oh, look at the party. Guacamole on his eggs. Why?
Why?
Why do you do that?
Because they're just plain eggs. It tastes good, and it's according to my nutritionist, it's good fat.
Okay.
Oh, so you take only egg whites and then you put guacamole?
He adds the fat back in.
Uh-huh.
But good fat.
I see.
Nothing like
Gary,
that good
when-
fat.
Gary, when you come down to Philly to do your book signing on Thursday, would you sign a baseball for me? Just one.
Did you know that did you know, Gary, that they did an article on you in the Philadelphia newspaper?
No.
Yeah, bring the article. There'll be a lot of articles to sign.
Hey,
Get
Jenks,
Dan
bring the
Gross to
article
call.
down so Gary can see it.
Okay, I'll get him to sign it.
All right.
Somebody should make a baseball card.
Hey, Mike. Mike?
Hey now, Howard.
Hey, now.
Hey, that was a real baseball, right, Gary?
Yes, it was. That was another question people asked me.
Jimmy told me it was a practice ball.
That's a baseball. I mean,
It's a baseball.
It's. I'm not going to blame it on the baseball.
Well, you could see how easy the ball was to throw when Jimmy threw it.
Hey, he threw it straight back, like right on a rope. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, why don't you just have Jimmy work with you? Waste your time getting all these pros involved. I got to work
I think
with
Gary's done with Jimmy. Do you hate Jimmy now?
I don't hate Jimmy. I don't. But I'm sort of like, I don't know. I'm disappointed. I mean, I felt like it's like I just feel like.
Jimmy did write me and
listen.
say that you're like the king of blindsiding people, and then like you feel blindsided.
No, I don't blindside people.
He did?
You blindside people. But for starters, it's sort of like I'm Baba Booey here, right? I'm the village idiot sometimes, and it's a role that I play, and I agree to play for the show. And my feeling is like, why do I have to be the village idiot for him?
Right. Like he wouldn't do that to anybody else.
It's just like I do that here. It's like just fucking cut me a break, man.
But Gary, it was playful. I mean, it wasn't like you could have said in a playful way, Jimmy. Like what? Remember that show? You used to go, "Homie, don't do that."
Again, I think
Homie, don't play that.
Homie, don't play that. There you go. See, Robin loves that bit. You know what I mean? You could playfully decline. It'd be interesting if they pulled the camera back and see there was a gun on Gary. Then I'd understand.
But what did you say Jimmy tweeted?
No, Jimmy didn't tweet. He just wrote me an email.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he said you have to watch the show.
So he wrote you. He didn't.
He wrote me. Yes.
Oh, my God. So he was already goofing.
Oh. He
my
loves
God.
it. He loves
so he
it.
no sympathy whatsoever.
He said he was laughing the entire weekend.
several people asked me if Jimmy had contacted me, which he hadn't.
He contacted me.
He
on it.
told Howard,
Which,
make
see,
sure to watch.
And that to me is sort of douchey. Sort of like, even if like he doesn't have to apologize, but he just say, hey man, I didn't think you'd take it so hard. I was just doing a joke or whatever. But to call you and gloat,
He didn't call me. Wait, I'll tell you what he wrote.
because to contact you and gloat, just makes me think a little less of him.
I'll tell you what he wrote. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know. He liked it. Listen,
Of
Gary.
course he liked it. I did him a favor.
I know, but I don't know why you did it. I just don't understand. You're. It's not like you're a beginner. Makes you feel any better? Jimmy had to be in St. Louis at a wedding on his birthday weekend, so.
You feel better now?
Oh my God, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Here, Jimmy goes, wait until you see what happened tonight. That was waiting for me when I woke up.
Oh.
That's what he wrote. Wait until you see what happened tonight. I couldn't wait.
Oh, so he was already like, I got a gem.
And Jimmy was like, Gary was unhappy, felt blindsided, and sandbagged, which is kind of hilarious coming from the world's greatest sandbagger. He hit a woman right in the head.
Oh.
But
I like how it's your show and I'm the blindsider.
But wait a minute, Gary. You know you do. You're the guy. What is one of the comedians had a name for you because you're always
About
coming.
bad news, but that's
right.
But listen, feeding Howard information isn't blindsiding somebody. That's what this whole show is about.
It is sometimes.
You feed information. Do you feel when we feed information about you, you're blindsided?
Sure.
Now I'm feeling bad for Gary. He's taking it hard. I can see it.
He's upset.
Gary.
Listen.
So you can't throw a ball. Who gives a fuck?
But it goes past the pitch at this point. I just feel.
You felt set up.
And humiliated for and
at a time when you're supposed to be triumphant.
Thank you. At a time when I should be feeling good about myself.
You know what, though, in a way,
I can't even have that.
I don't like the triumphant Gary. Honestly, between you
You're
and me.
happy about this?
Yeah, I thought he was a little full of himself, actually, on Jimmy, and knocked him down a couple of pegs.
You're so bad.
That is all this triumph.
He was sitting there like, I'm a member.
It's not like I'm walking around peacock and acting like a big deal.
I know.
I'm just sort of like, it's like, oh, wow, thank you.
It was your moment in the sun. But you know what? It's good. To knock you down a few pegs, get back to work.
My moment in the sun, and Jimmy fucking put the eclipse up.
Right.
What did you tell Jimmy to do that?
Did I tell Jimmy to do what?
Make Gary pitch.
Yes, I wish I was. I wish I was the mastermind, but I was not. Yeah. Jason, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Gary, you got to do something. I mean, it's your kids you're thinking about.
Your children.
Your children.
Listen,
What is he going to do?
They have to go to school today, and that's what they're going to get ridiculed about.
Luckily, nobody that's 15 years old watches Jimmy Kimmel, so it's not.
Yeah, but I bet you their parents are.
It's not that big a deal. Listen, my relationship with my kids is awesome.
He has a good relationship.
I have the best kids in the world, and I talk to them about it, and listen.
They understand.
Can you imagine your dad having to sit you down?
No, I wish my dad would have sat me down and
about a
explained
pitch.
something. I wish my dad would have. One thing I'll say about Gary, he's got a great relationship with those
Yes,
boys.
he does.
Yeah.
My wife wrote me maybe the greatest email ever after that.
What did she say?
You know what? Give me a second and I'll find it.
All right, go ahead. I didn't write him. I couldn't wait to get on the air.
I tried. I was gonna. I called you a couple of times and I hung up because I knew that you wouldn't take my call anyway. Hold on. I think I have it. You ready?
Did you call me?
I did once and I hung up before it even went through.
Right.
Okay, whether you can pitch or not, whether you can pitch or not pitch doesn't matter. We know you can. You can also do many other things so well, like write a bestseller, produce a #1 show, tell great stories, and be a great interview and interviewer. You're funny and have a great personality. You're a generous and caring, evolved person, and you're smart. That's just to name a few of your great qualities. Don't worry about it. Don't perpetuate it by listening to the haters, bloggers, Twitterers, etc. I love and miss you.
Aw, that's
a good wife.
sweet.
You crying?
No, I'm not crying.
Oh, that would have been good.
But it is, it does,
Yeah. Well, she's on your team, but let's see if she bangs you.
Well, if she wasn't married to him, what would she be saying?
She wants to be banging a guy who can throw a ball.
She is married to her. She got to live
Yeah.
with him.
I think she was talking more to herself than Gary.
She lives a pretty decent life for a guy to be married to a guy who can't throw a ball.
Right.
She's very happy.
Believe me. The thing that is crazy to me about it, I'm not going to harp on it anymore. I'll let it go.
Because you're still hard.
No, I'll let it go. It's just I don't know why you participated. I get it. You were under pressure, but
I cracked under pressure.
I still think you thought you could do it.
I think somewhere in his mind he didn't think it could ever go as badly as it already had.
Because if he knew he couldn't do it, he wouldn't have done it.
That's a better explanation than
Yep.
Baba just gave.
Steve, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey, I'd like to draw a comparison between how you treat Gary and how you got treated by pig virus. You spent, just a couple years under pig virus getting oppressed, and now Gary spent 27 years, what should be one of your good friends, and you sit there and just beat on him.
No, I don't. Listen, first of all, I never beat on Gary. Ask Gary about his work. I've told him a million times he does a great job. Secondly, if Gary goes on a talk show, Jimmy Kimmel show, and throws a ball 3 times, there's
What
no
are you
way.
supposed to do?
I mean, my God, I'm
comment
fascinated by why he did it. I'm sorry, I don't see it as the same thing. And let me tell you something. Pig virus was trying to get me fired from my job. I'm not under that agenda.
So I know it's a slightly different comparison.
I mean, please.
But my point is,
Gary knows I'm on his side, and Gary knows I'm a fan. I mean, I would have been working with the guy for 30 years. Pig virus was a guy actively trying to get me to quit my job. He did everything to undermine me.
But the one time you were positive.
What did I do to undermine Gary? Gary came to me and said, "Boss, I want to write a book. Do you have a problem with it?" I go, "Gary, go for it. I'm happy for you."
I realize supporting, but what I'm saying is, when he went on the David Letterman show, that was the one time that you showed a little bit.
Get out of here one time. All day and night I'm good to this guy.
Oh, my goodness.
You're out of your fucking mind. Pig virus did everything he could to destroy me. I'm not trying to destroy Gary. Gary's doing a fine job of destroying Gary.
You don't have to do a thing.
I'm just commenting on what Gary's doing. Gary's the one who I didn't tell him to go on. What?
You try to beat him down every chance you can.
All right. All right. Well, maybe it's the same thing.
When he went on Letterman, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. When he went on Letterman, you showed a little bit of positive.
Little bit. I told him he did a great job.
You gave him an A.
You're rewriting history, bro.
To say, well, you did good, but you still suck.
You did good, but you still suck. Okay. All right. Steve, thank you. I mean, I don't know what to tell him. Gary's funny.
Even when he's trying not to be.
Artie Lang wants to talk about Gary's pitch. Go ahead, Artie. Did you see it live?
Yes.
Oh, and what did you think? When you saw the pitch, did it bring you back to when he was at Citi Field?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you feel bad for Gary? Yeah. Silly, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Already can't stop laughing. Oh, dear.
All right. Well, he's in better spirits, I'll tell him that.
Absolutely.
Bullshit.
All right. All right. Marianne from Brooklyn, go ahead.
Howard, it ruined my weekend. Gary was caught off guard. He did a great job. I left Jimmy Kimmel a message, Howard. He had to stoop to a level because he needed a laugh. It wasn't fair. Gary was on such a high. It's horrible. This is what society does. You're doing great, and then they just want to squash your moment of success, and it fucking sucks.
No,
Howard.
but Gary went along with it.
No, he's not you. If you want
Me? I mean, Marianne, listen, I've said to you a million times when you're on the show, take your top off. What do you say to me?
Howard,
What have you said to me? Every time you're on the show, you're in front of the microphone. I know you're in love with me. And by the way, thank you for the Thanksgiving note. It's beautiful. Beautiful note. When you were sitting, when you're on my show and I say to you, Marianne, come on, show me your tits. It would make me happy. What do you do every time?
Howard, it's different.
Oh, okay. Joe, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I don't know why everybody's getting on Jimmy right now. Like, why is Gary angry? He's throwing a pitch.
I know. I mean, it was, listen. First of all,
it's not throwing a pitch.
Gary, the only reason, can I just say something so you feel better about this? The only reason you feel Jimmy blindsided you is because you couldn't throw the ball right.
Yeah, he didn't
blindside you. He gave you an option to redeem yourself.
No, it's about setting me up to fail.
But what if you had thrown it great?
Gave him 2 options to redeem himself.
What if you had thrown it perfectly?
Gary's basing his reaction to what eventually happened. I don't think you went in expecting to fail.
No, he threw that ball because he thought he could.
Right. Had that pitch made it, this would be a different discussion.
And you would have stopped at one perfect pitch.
Right.
Why be mad at Jimmy? What did Jimmy do wrong? Jimmy asked you to do something, and you could have walked off and said no. You participated because I know you thought you'd redeem yourself.
But you also know that there's no redemption because that other pitch of you at Citi Field is still out there.
Yeah, it was a no-win situation.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
You can't
Lose-lose.
redeem that.
Poor Gary. Just always goes wrong for him. He was on top of the world. Flew
I
out to
feel
LA.
bad because that's a hard fall to take.
Yeah, but he shouldn't care so much about a pitch, but he does. Jeff the Drunk, you're on the air.
I wasn't disappointed at all, Howard.
You liked it.
Oh,
it was
no.
quite good, and I just want to say, smooth move, X-Legs.
What?
I don't know, but he's happy. Jeff likes other
This is
people's
a good
misery.
day for him.
This is a great day for Jeff the Drunk.
I made popcorn.
Did you watch it live?
What's that?
Did you watch it live?
I did,
Yeah.
and
You
it was great. I was loving it.
You stayed up and watched.
I did. I made sure I didn't miss it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
You made someone's day.
Hello.
Hey, Dan.
Just proves another Met fan can't throw, Howard. He's a cross between Mr. Magoo and Handyman, played by Damon Wayans.
Bubba, go ahead. You're on the air in Phoenix.
He's definitely Charlie Baba Booey Brown is what he is.
Like
Just
Charlie Brown.
Right, when he lines up to hit that football every fucking time, man. It just doesn't go his way.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, now.
Hey, Gary, I got a quick question for you. If you could choose between your pitching videos, like at Shea Stadium and on Jimmy Kimmel, and the video of you sleeping, which one would you destroy first?
All right, Gary, if you had a choice to go back in time and destroy either you sleeping at work or both pitching videos, which would you destroy? You can only do one.
It's a very simple and easy answer.
Oh, good.
It's both pitching videos because the sleeping video is only confined to our world.
Right.
The pitching videos are for everyone to see.
All right.
Well, Gary, if it makes you feel any better, you threw your masculinity away very well, like perfectly almost.
He's bummed out, I can tell.
And he already had a rough weekend,
I know.
and he couldn't have thought Monday was going to go well.
I'm sorry, Gary. Oh.
Give me a fucking break. Don't.
You know what? It's
You
funny
know
to
what,
me.
Howard? You didn't even ask me when I saw it.
When did you see it?
I saw it this morning. I woke up early because I hadn't had a chance to see
See?
him on Jimmy Kimmel, and I thought, geez, let me see what Gary did on Jimmy Kimmel.
And you had no-
I had no idea. I didn't talk to anybody all weekend. I was sort of sequestered, so I had nobody had given me a preview. And I'm sitting there, and the interview was going so well, and then all of a sudden, he turns the book around, and Gary is looking at him with this glove, and he goes, and I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there at 3:30 this morning saying, this can't be happening.
So, no one, you mean the whole weekend went by and no one said
No, I
anything?
was in a seminar. So I was in a meditation seminar all weekend. Nobody said anything.
Wow.
Nobody saw it where I was.
Did you think it was a disaster when you saw it?
Absolutely. And like I said, it's rolling out as a beautiful thing. And then all of a sudden he goes, I want to talk about the back of the book. And I just think he's going to talk about the pitch. And then he pulls out that glove and hands it to Gary. And I'm like, no. Gary's not going to get up and throw the ball. And the next thing you know, the ball is sailing into the audience, hitting people in the head. And I'm like, this can't be happening.
It was like a pinball.
Yeah. It's funny that you didn't hear about it. Man, you really were sequestered. Eli, go ahead. You're on in San Jose.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
All right.
I don't get to talk to you that much, so I would say thank you for all the wonderful years of listening to you. You make my mornings great.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Number two, I think you have a great bit. You should get Jason Kaplan and Baba Booey to have a dunk tank with Scott the Pace in it. See if they can redeem themselves.
Hey, Jason, I wonder if you could throw better than Gary at this point, because Gary's always goofing on Sal that he can't throw a ball.
Right. And Gary has goofed on Sal as no athlete.
Yeah, exactly.
Howard, include JD and Sal in it, too.
Do you think you could throw better than Gary?
I can't throw worse.
Right. You could do just about as good. You might even be looser than him and be able to get it over the plate.
I mean, look, I'm in the same boat as Gary. Like, I know I can't throw. Everyone my whole life has told me I
Gary
throw like a
thinks
pro.
No, Gary said he could throw.
Oh, well then, I'm not.
No, you're not in the same boat. You're in the realistic boat.
Yes, but I would. Listen, I really mean it. I don't think I could do it worse. I think I could throw it straight 60 feet.
Right.
I'll give it a shot.
All right.
That'd be a great bit. Don't you think, Howard?
Yeah. I mean, imagine like Jason's a better pitcher than Gary.
Oh, after he's been told that he's the worst athlete in the group.
Yeah. Sal, Gary always relentlessly goofs on you for throwing like a girl.
Right. I think I could whip his ass now.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
You could probably get it over the plate.
No, and you know what? He has absolutely no confidence left.
Right.
He's a beaten, withered little bitch. I would love to go head-to-head with him and throw a ball. I think I could beat him.
I mean, Jason played backup right field in Little League. That's like
a thalidomide baby can throw better than Gary.
Jason's thinking he could beat him now.
No
I'm
doubt.
Cliff Lee.
Backup right field.
What's the stake going to be, though? That's the best part.
I don't know yet, Eli. Thank you, though. All right.
Gary, you up for it?
You want to go up against Sal?
Shop closed.
Oh, boy.
For us, Sal is closed.
Let me
Shop is
translate.
closed for everyone.
I'll get Jimmy to do it.
Okay.
Jimmy will convince Gary to do it. He seems to have the magic touch with Gary. Hey, Gary, do this.
You know what you didn't do? You didn't have the ball and the glove ready.
Right. Gary, I got a ball and a glove. Come on.
He doesn't seem to be able to resist that.
Wipe the guacamole off your fingers and throw that ball, Gary. Come on. Maybe he had guacamole on his fingers that
Bring it
night.
on, guys. Pile it on. Told you.
If we had a live audience, Gary would do it. I'm telling you.
No, he can't do it in front of an
I
audience.
just want to say that it's easy to say now, but it was a split-second decision. Clearly the wrong one.
Right.
But it's not so easy. It's easy
When you're caught up in the moment.
It is, Howard. I know that you're different.
No.
You're different.
No.
No, you are. You're different.
I'm not different.
You have more confidence than I do.
No, I got to tell you the truth, Gary, and I'll go to my grave saying this. It isn't confidence. Believe me, I don't have confidence. What it is when I know I can't do something, I don't do it. You believe you could have thrown that ball. That's why you did it. Because if it was something you really thought you couldn't do, you would say, Jimmy, I'm not doing it. Because you knew you'd humiliate yourself.
You'd have said, I learned my lesson.
Right. You thought you could do it. And I know I'm right, and I'll go to my grave saying it. Because I know...
Go to your grave.
Right now?
He'd like you to go right now.
But seriously, Gary, think about it. There's nothing... there's no way on live television you would partake in anything if you knew you couldn't do it. I'm telling you. I don't care what pressure was on you. If there were 10 million screaming people, Gary, do it, do it, do it, do it. If you knew you couldn't do it, you wouldn't do it. It's the same analogy I used this morning. If someone says to you, whip your cock out on national TV, you go, no, I can't do that.
What was he thinking when he threw the second ball?
Yeah, why'd you throw the second one?
I figured it can't be worse than the first.
You see what I mean? But you really wanted to get it right. Now, why'd you throw...
Of course you will. If I'm going to do it, I mean, if I was going to do it, I want to get it. I wasn't...
If Jimmy said to you, Gary, go out and juggle, and you'd say, no, I don't know how.
So the third time, you're just sure. Now I've got it. I've got the feel. I've got everything. I'm
see what I'm
almost
saying?
there, and now I'm going to get it right.
If I was a psychiatrist, I'd say to you, but Gary, you must have on some level thought you could do it. Because when you...
And I'm just saying, don't put me in that spot. I got what you're saying. I got that. I'm the one who stood up. I get that.
Right.
But don't put me in that spot. Don't put me on the spot.
I think you would have gotten it if you threw it a fourth time.
But he couldn't afford to jeopardize the audience anymore.
Let me ask you something. I can't think of the right analogy, but whatever it is, you've got to, on some level, believe you can do it.
I was probably what Robin said earlier. I probably thought it couldn't be worse.
Right. Well, all right. You didn't think it through. Jeff Jarvis, who is a commentator on television and wrote for TV Guide and has his own blog and writes on a website and the whole thing. Go ahead, Jeff.
I want to be the one guy to defend Gary today and say, Gary, this is why we love you. You're the mensch's mensch. I screw up, and I look at you, and you're a model for just taking it, roll off your back. If you hadn't been so hard with this, we wouldn't have gotten a good hour of radio out of this today. You couldn't have done anything else. If you'd said no, you would have come off like a snot or a loser. You had no choice but to do what you did,
right.
and it doesn't matter. This is not going to ruin the book or the weekend or anything. We still love you, and this is why.
The thing, Jeff,
that makes me feel good because I think there are some people who feel like that.
Jeff, what I like about it is you're wrong about one thing. It's not rolling off his back.
Well, I know. That's why he's giving you a gift now. So the bad thing wasn't to throw the pitch. The bad thing was to show his weak underbelly to you.
Right.
That's what he
Well,
does for a living, right?
because forever I will wonder about this pitch, why Gary agreed to do it.
Yeah, Howard, really.
Jeff,
what matter
Jeff.
if I were sitting there,
Jeff, he thought he could do it.
Yeah, but what if he said no? So then
If he said no, but you do it in a fun way, you run out of there.
Right.
Jeff, you run out.
That's worse. That's worse. Then he looks like a wimp.
So then you sit there.
For having no dick.
You go, no, or you just throw it underhand and you say, good night, everybody. Something like that. When you know you can't do it, why would you be humiliated?
The problem here is that he's allowed himself to be humiliated to you, not to Jimmy.
Okay. All right, Jeff. I still think there's an angle here that he really thought he could throw it.
Well, he's the man of eternal hope. Of course he did.
All right. Well, you're right. He should let it roll off his back. What else can he do? And listen, don't sit there and bum out with that stupid pitch. Big deal.
Listen, like I said, it's half the pitch. Half of it's a pitch, and half of it is just everybody thinking they're you and that they can fuck with me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's I think, a big part of it. I know Jimmy's listen, I don't hate Jimmy. I've always thought he was funny. I probably had a lot to do with getting him on the show in the first place. And I like him. But there's just this perception like, sometimes people don't think of it just like, oh, Gary fucks with Howard. Howard fucks with Gary. Everybody can fuck with Gary.
Right. All right, you got a point. But, again, taking a look at this thing realistically, it's, I'll have guests come in and I'll throw 50 things at them.
Yeah, sometimes you try to give singers guitars and they won't take them.
Yeah. I try to do different things, and if they say no, I move on to the next thing.
And I thought about that a lot this weekend. I really did. But it's so different when there's an audience involved and everybody's,
The audience through.
And the other thing, too, is like you might ask somebody to do something, but you've never gotten out of your chair and walked up to them. Like, say you just wanted to dance with somebody, just because they can't dance. You've never gotten out of your chair and walked over to them and go, come on, let's do this.
You felt badgered.
Painted into a corner would be like I felt like I had minimal amount of choices, and
you felt if you didn't go along with it, you'd be a killjoy.
Well, more than a killjoy, I thought it would look bad, but in retrospect, it couldn't have been any worse. But yeah, I just when again, Howard, you're different than me. When the audience is yelling and he's already squatting down and there's a glove in my hand, you know what I mean?
Okay. I just know when I can't do something, I don't do it.
Yeah, because even the guy who doesn't take the guitar, if he did take the guitar, it was because he knows he can play it.
Right. That's the thing I can never get past. But you know what, though? You got to, read that memo again that your wife sent you and just sign my name to it. I feel the same way. You have many skills. Throwing is not one of them. Stop with the throwing. I feel bad for him. He's all bummed out. He's upset with it. You know what it's almost like? It's like a... he's reliving the moment over and over again when he agreed to do it.
Well, you know what it is? It also brought back the pitch.
Right. Oh, in spades.
It reinvigorated it.
Yes. It got it all going again. It got the whole discussion going again, how you can't pitch. You were past it already. He had to bring it up with that book. Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to tell Gary to have a little humility, man. I mean, this was great TV and an hour plus worth of great radio.
Right.
It's not even that bad, Gary. Actually, it's hilarious. We love everything about it. It makes you more famous.
You know what? I get what you're saying. I don't think the Kimmel show or this hour sells any books, and if it does, it doesn't sell enough books to make me feel any better.
Anyway, let's get Steve Langford in here. Stevie boy, come on in and tell us what's happening in the Howard 100 newsroom. Steve Langford, everybody.
Steve Langford has a huge penis.
Yeah, a huge penis.
The Baba Booey Book Tour in Southern California. Part celebrity super signing, part group hug this weekend. But When the pitch hit the fan, Howard 100 News right there as a quiet and wounded Gary Dell'Abate returns to a stunned dressing room. Gary immediately describing it as terrible, terrible. Producers meeting with Dell'Abate behind closed doors right away.
Did Gary get so upset that they had you thrown out of the room? Like Steve's the first guy you throw out of the room.
I was going to say, did you get the immediate interview right after he walked off stage?
Yes. And then the producers came back a couple of minutes later. We exited the room. And when they left, we went back in. But
as a reporter, do you agree with me that, why did Gary, I believe Gary pitched on Jimmy Kimmel because he really believed that the pitch would be good. If you know you can't do something, why would you go along with it?
I believe that he did it simply because of the pressure, the crowd.
But he knows he can't pitch. He believed he could get it right.
But he knows, no, I don't believe he.
Well, why would you do it? When you know you can't do something, you don't do it.
He just felt pressured. He's there on live television.
He knew he was going to mess up and this would be a terrible
He was hoping for the best.
That sounds dopier than what I'm saying. Was he, wiped out when he walked off there?
Well, he looked defeated.
Yeah.
There's no question.
He was bummed.
He was stunned. And Gary instantly predicting, quote, another month of effing torment.
What is this audio that you have?
This is the interview as he came back. The moment he came back.
This is right after he threw those 3 horrible pitches.
Right when he came back into the dressing room.
All right.
Did you know?
No. No, I didn't know.
Now, in our business, we would call it an ambush.
It was.
How is that an ambush? Is when you go to a guy's house and you throw a camera on him. He's on camera. He's on Kimmel. All he's got to do is say, no, I don't want to do that.
But he's not.
Oh, I was there to do an interview.
Right.
Come on. I mean, you're right that I could have said no, but to say that it wasn't in any way.
You could do it in a funny way. You're not being sincere. I mean, I was thinking I was doing an interview and nothing else. Gary, if I had you on in an interview on television with a live audience.
But I'm not. But it's not you. It's him.
All right. Okay, Jimmy.
And nobody. I've done.
But Jimmy has you on, okay? It's toward the end of the interview. You know the interview's almost over. And at the end of the interview, Jimmy says to you, Gary.
I understand that we've been over that, but I shouldn't have been put in that position.
Okay, granted. You were put in the position, though. It's just like Jay-Z. I asked him about Beyonce. He goes, that's something I don't really talk about. Same thing. I don't throw balls, Jimmy. I'm not your monkey. I'm not doing that for you. Boom. You know what, Jimmy? You throw the ball, I'll catch. Let's see how you do. You know what, Jimmy? I never had a free no late night show ever gave me a free mitt before. Boom. Leave with the free mitt. Anything. You don't. I theory is that you did it because you thought.
I don't want to fuck with your theory.
I know I'm right.
Well, then be right.
Admit I'm right.
I don't admit you're right.
You thought you could throw that ball.
I thought I could do.
You wanted to be redemption.
I thought I could do better than what I did, but I did not want to do it.
I don't believe
it. But it's so obvious. You could see it on my face.
I think he didn't want to do it, but he thought he'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, how is that an ambush? I mean, 99% of the people can do it.
It's not an ambush except because he could have said no. An ambush you can't avoid.
Here's a question. How come he doesn't fuck with everybody else that comes on the show? That's what it comes out to. How come he doesn't fuck with Harrison Ford?
But wait a second.
No, but answer the question. How come
I'll tell you why.
He's okay to fuck with me, but not everyone else?
Because he didn't think he was fucking with you.
I disagree.
You think he thought
I think he thought it'd be
could
funny.
Throw that ball straight.
I don't think he knew, but Gary ambushed himself. That's the Baba Booey in this.
So Robin, you're on the show next week, and if he asks you to do something stupid, and say you wouldn't do it, but you wouldn't.
All right, he says, Robin, whip out your tits.
Aren't you expecting?
Is she going to do it?
That's a ridiculous thing. Robin,
all right, what?
Are you expecting anything past a straight interview?
No, but when I was on the Tonight Show and Linda Ronstadt came after me, that wasn't planned.
But they didn't put her out there to go after you.
No, but the point is, things happen in a talk show situation.
How do you know they didn't book Linda Ronstadt to get some fireworks going?
Because Leno's not that smart.
That's true. All right, I agree
Yeah,
with
he
you.
didn't know that was going to happen. That was totally
so if Jimmy
Linda.
Says,
in fact, if Leno knew that was going to happen, he would have unbooked her.
All right, Robin always says on the air, I don't know my left from my right. So if Jimmy says to her during the interview, Robin, which is your left hand? Is that an ambush?
Did Robin write a book with a whole chapter about how upsetting it is not to know her left from her right?
Yeah.
She didn't.
Read her book. Read her book. She says she has like a dyslexia about it.
But is it so upsetting to her?
Of course it's. Would you consider?
Panic.
Would you consider? But Gary, would you consider it an ambush if Jimmy says to her?
I'm going to win this argument because you need to be right.
Because no, I don't want to be right. I just don't. I don't understand why you went along with it unless you thought you could pitch.
I don't understand it either. I told you that.
So don't be mad at Jimmy, and don't be mad at.
Well, he can be mad at Jimmy
No,
if he
he
wants
can't.
to be.
No.
Yes. I say you can be mad
Come
at Jimmy.
on, let's go.
Be mad at Jimmy.
All right, be mad at Jimmy. Who
Because
gives a
he's
shit?
laughing at you, not because of what he did.
That's a big part of it. You know
Because it's hysterical.
even if the note he sent to you said, God, I felt so bad for Gary, but I got to tell you what happened. But it's not even that.
He doesn't
it's like
feel
he couldn't
bad.
wait to get back to you to tell you how he made me look like a fool.
I'm going to tell you, Jimmy laughed at dinner till he cried
He laughed in his
about
sleep.
that pitch. That's how much fun he had with it.
But you would think Jimmy had asked Gary to do quantum mathematics or something. You know what I mean? Like what is it?
The point is,
I mean, he just said, "Hey, throw a ball." Gary could have said no, or throw the ball and get over it.
Well, he did do that thing that people can sometimes do where you almost can't say no, where he was out of his seat, he was walking to his position.
He raped him.
Yeah.
There's no saying no.
That doesn't mean anything to you. I mean, there are things that mean nothing to me that mean something to you.
Listen, if I know there's something I can't do and Jimmy Kimmel tells me to hop through the hoop, I'm not doing it because I don't want to embarrass myself. And that ain't me just being
Look,
famous.
having been blindsided by you guys over the years with my singing, and you know what singing means to me. And you guys have done it to me over and over again,
That's
trying
right.
to find a way to get my mic up, taping me when I'm not aware of it.
Right.
And you have all those tapes, and every time you play them, it hurts.
There you go. Here's some pain. Why would you bring that up?
I'm just saying, Gary can't be so upset. He's
not only
been a
that-
part of it.
And not only that, there's a little bit of difference if Gary tries to say no and you say no to Jimmy Kimmel.
Sorry,
Jimmy
Fred.
Kimmel
Fred,
is
let
going
me
to
tell
back
you
down
something.
with you. He's not going to back down
When
with
you
Gary.
can't do something and you find it really embarrassing, you just don't do it as a human being. I know
I
that.
agree with that, but I'm trying to cut Gary a little slack
No,
here.
I'm telling you, Gary thought he could do it.
And Robin brings up the point. Okay, like Robin's right. If I have fucked with her in the past, she's fucked with me. What have I ever done to Jimmy?
Nothing.
Jimmy didn't do anything bad to you. He said, "Come on, let's throw a ball." You could say no.
Yeah, okay, we'll take it at that.
Listen.
That's what happened.
All right, you know what? It's unbelievable.
I don't know why you're fighting that he can't be upset with Jimmy.
Because he should be upset with himself. Jimmy can present
I'm sure
a lot of
he's
things.
already upset with himself. But
Jimmy's a talk show
Jimmy is
host.
enjoying it way too much.
I'm upset with me, and I'm upset with him. And if you keep going on, I'll be upset with you.
Oh, stop.
You should be upset with me for a lot of things.
Sir, you were an eyewitness to the Gary pitch debacle this past weekend.
It was quite a weekend.
What would you have done differently if you were Gary, as someone who saw the whole thing unfold?
Hindsight is 20/20.
But does Howard make a great point that Gary could have easily said no?
Well, I guess probably he should have in hindsight. There's no question. But you know, I can imagine what Gary was going through. Say you're invited on the Kimmel show, and Kimmel all of a sudden says, "All right, come on, you're going to throw a ball." What, are you going to sit there and say no? No.
Well, I have a cannon for an arm. Of course not.
So, yeah, I understood what he was going through. However, I will say that, you know, as producer of the show that specializes in surprises, Gary should probably be prepared for that.
Do you feel as though Jimmy Kimmel sandbagged Gary?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, how couldn't he? He, you know, if you read Gary's book, you see, it's like his one. He won't even throw the ball at his kids' practices anymore. You know, so you know it's like his one crutch, and you know he didn't give him an out. Then Gary said, "No, I really don't want to." Jimmy still got up, and walked around, and you know. And, you know, you saw what happened.
I do think he was sandbagged. I know that he met with the producers beforehand, talk about the segment, and he surprised him. And the problem was that Gary, of all the things he's doing, the one place where he felt safe was Kimmel, and clearly that was a mistake. I don't think Jimmy was trying to hurt Gary. I don't think he was trying to embarrass him. But if you're Jimmy, if he throws the pitch and it's perfect, then everything is redeemed. If he throws the pitch and it's horrible, then it's a great laugh. So So Jimmy had nothing to lose by doing it. But I understand why Gary would feel a little bit betrayed.
He knows how bad the guy feels about the way he threw that pitch at Citi Field. Why would you try to embarrass a guy like that? Why would you do that?
Now,
He's supposed to be a friend of the show. What the fuck's his problem?
Now, do you agree with Howard that Gary should have just politely declined? I mean, what was the...
Yeah, but you know what? Gary was there to do an appearance on his show. And I guess he felt that's what he had to do.
An obligation.
It was he was doing an appearance on the show. He was brought out there to do an appearance, to promote his book, whatever he was doing. And I guess he felt he was put on the spot. He had to do it.
He should have kind of known doing all these talk shows that somebody was going to ask him to pitch. He could have prepared a little bit, I guess, but I guess he just, you know, it sounds like he's finally realized that no matter how much he practices, he can't pitch, so.
He asked him if he wanted to pitch. Gary had the opportunity to say, I'd rather not do it, or, you know, my shoulder hurts right now, or I'm not feeling well. He could have said no, but I mean, he just was going for a laugh, obviously.
He asked him to throw a ball. Would Gary sandbag his young child if he asked him to throw a football at the beach, or?
Well, you're being very literal. I mean, look at the situation and look at some of the things that have happened in the past. He asked him to throw a pitch.
Gary claims he can throw a ball, and that he just froze up at the Mets game and fucking had a meltdown or whatever. So getting put on the spot is probably better. In fact, I think if he had thrown a perfect strike, he would have thanked Jimmy and said, "Oh, you know what? Thanks, man. That gave me an opportunity to redeem myself. I now, you know, got to prove to everybody that I can pitch." Clearly, that didn't happen. But so that's what happened.
I think Gary's the born loser. You know, for every step forward he takes that's positive, he takes 2 steps back that are negative. That's it. Here he is with a successful book. He's number 6 on the New York Times list. He gets on the show, blah, blah, blah. Big shot, big star. Hands him a ball, Mr. Coach. Throws it like a woman. Jackass.
So, Gary.
Yes.
As the discussion continues about the whole Kimmel pitch debacle, whatever you want to call it, it seems like you really are pissed at Jimmy. You said earlier that you're not, but it seems like...
Well, I'm just trying to defend my position. I mean, I don't fucking hate him. But yeah, I said I was pissed. I said I'm mad at him. Somebody said to you, or do you hate Jimmy? And I was like, no, I don't hate Jimmy. But I'm upset about it.
And Howard keeps sticking to his argument that you could have just said no. I mean...
Right. It's easier, you know, when you have a whole weekend to think about it and you see it, it's easy to say that. But, you know, the classic words where you had to be there.
Right, and plus, had you said no, you would have probably set like a rabid crowd like against you.
Well, and not only that, I would have walked in today that would have just been fucking walked off in here, and they're like, "Come on, Gary, you said you could do it." I was gonna have to do it somewhere. Probably should have done it here. Would have been better off.
Now, as like a baseball fan and a coach and everything, how does this affect you at all from that standpoint?
I'm still a fan. I'm not throwing any more first pitches. When I coach kids, I barely have to teach them how to throw. I teach them how to run the bases, and it's fine.
Right.
I'll live.
All right, man.